Hello friends, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled People, where people believe the world revolves around them. I've got 4 stories today. You'll hear about people touching babies without permission, a badass wife putting an entitled couple in place, a Karen that doesn't think young people can be disabled, and we'll finish off with an entitled military wife who thinks she's owed more than she deserves. I hope you stay for the stories today and subscribe for future videos. This first story is titled, Coworker Thinks She's Entitled to My Baby. I had to run to the store to get formula and decided to bring my 9-week-old in the store with me. It was my first time taking her anywhere other than the doctor's, so I was a little nervous. I decided to carry her and keep her covered since I was only getting one thing. I grabbed the formula and made my way to the checkouts when a coworker saw me. I didn't see her, but she came straight over and tried to uncover my baby without even saying anything to me. I put my hand out, stopping her, and asked what she was doing. She told me she wanted to see and hold the baby since I haven't really posted on social media. I told her that the correct way to do it would be to ask, and even if she did, I would have said no because it's flu season, and I don't want people in her face or holding her. She muttered something under her breath and walked off, and I walked to the checkouts. A couple hours after I got home, I was scrolling through Facebook and saw that she made a post about me. It said, "I saw OP at the store today, and she shoved me away from her, saying that I can't hold her baby. I couldn't even look at her baby. Parents need to stop being so selfish with their babies. Sometimes the baby's smile is what a person needs to make it through the day. Stop being selfish." Although I really wanted to respond to her post, I stopped myself. Why do some people think that babies are public property? No one's entitled to my baby but myself and her father. This next story is titled, My Wife is a Thug. My wife and I are senior citizens. In other words, we are old. My dear wife is a strong, independent, take no shit from anyone type of woman. I adore her for it. She keeps me in line, pushes me to be a better man, and is the reason behind my modest success in life. She's sarcastic, wicked smart, can cuss like a sailor, and as she gets older, her filter is practically non-existent. A few months ago, we decided to treat ourselves. We made reservations and went to a rather high-end restaurant. They had a maitre d', sommeliers, highly trained waitstaff, etc. My wife, even though she's in her 70s, has very little gray hair and can pass for 55. She was wearing a very pretty white lace blouse, very flattering black pants, and black flats, and she looked good. When we arrived, there was no line, surprisingly, and the maitre d' had apparently stepped away from the podium where he stands. We were waiting there, and my wife was right next to the podium, and I had sat down at one of the benches when another couple come in. Without missing a beat, the man walked up to the podium and told my wife, Rockefeller, which was not the name he used, "We have reservations for 2. My wife said that she was sure someone would be with them shortly. The woman huffed a little, and the man said, "Please seat us now." My wife told them that she's waiting to be seated, but the man said again, "Seat us now." So my wife looked at me, smiled, and said, "Right away, walk this way." She walked with them behind her as she walked a circle around the partition separating the entrance to the dining area. She circled around to the other end and led them back to the entrance, and pointing to the bench said, "Sit down." The man looked like he was gonna blow a gasket, and my wife repeated, "I don't work here, you moron. You want me to seat you? Sit your ass down." As the couple were sputtering, and before it could escalate further, the maitre d' arrived. We gave our name, and he led us away. There was no yelling and no threats of police, and we had a wonderful meal, and the other couple was several tables away from us. We didn't interact with them again, but they did shoot us dirty looks now and then. Now, before you say my wife overreacted and could have explained that she didn't work there in a better way, she has a wicked sense of humor and hates idiots. She loves being a smartass and is so good at it. It's one of the reasons that I, after being with her all these years, still love being put in my place by her when I start getting a little too misogynistic. This next one's titled, Another Karen Assumes That Young People Can't Be Disabled. Oh my goodness, this title is unreal. So context, I'm 20 years old. Typical blonde hair, blue eyes, relatively innocent looking girl. I'm also disabled. I have a condition which no doctors can diagnose, but basically my ribs, or the cartilage surrounding them, have become really inflamed and excruciatingly painful. It gets to the point that several times a week, sometimes several times a day, my ribs are sending so many pain signals to my brain that it tells my lungs to stop breathing. It's a relatively logical thought process. Breathing equals pain, pain equals bad, so let's just not breathe then. But as you can imagine, it causes a lot of issues. Despite not being able to turn up my waist or bending down to pick something up without crying in pain, I now have to focus on breathing to make sure that I don't accidentally suffocate myself. Now to the bit you all want to hear. I live in the UK, and my main mode of transport is the bus. This is mainly because they have great seating for disabled people, and it means that I don't have to walk far in my condition. So I'm having a flare-up and not being able to breathe without specifically thinking to push my lungs in and out. It's also extremely painful. Imagine wearing a corset with metal pipes sticking into your body, and every breath that you take in, the pipes dig deeper into the flesh. That's me. I somehow managed to get on the bus, show the bus driver my return ticket, and practically fall onto the disabled chairs at the front of the bus. Now, in the UK, these chairs are called priority seats, and you have to give them to disabled, elderly, or pregnant people. It's a great system. Enter Karen. She strolls onto the bus, bleached hair messed from the wind, and coat looking rather disheveled. She doesn't even look at the bus driver as she hands her ticket over, her glare resting on me the entire time. To save time, OP's me, K's Karen, and NL is the nice lady who comes to my aid. Karen says, "Could I have that seat, please?" Me, barely able to breathe, let alone speak loudly, said, "Sorry, I need it." Karen responds, "It's a priority seat. You're supposed to give it to people more in need than yourself." "But I am in need. There's plenty of other seats, please." She interrupts me and says, "You're not in need. You're clearly not pregnant, and you're certainly not old." I responded that I'm disabled, and Karen rolls her eyes and says, "Of course you are. I know you young people like to identify with things nowadays, but you can't just say you're disabled when you're not. Let me see a blue badge then, please," which was the sign that you put in your car that allows you to park in disabled bays and on double yellow lines. And I said, I don't drive, that's why I'm taking the bus." Karen then responds, "Well, isn't that convenient?" She then proceeds to attempt to pull me off the chair. I block one of her arms, but miss the other arm that grabs my shirt and pulls. Her fist collides with my ribs, and I scream. It hurts so freaking much that I'm now crying and curled up in agony. The nice lady shouts, "Oh my goodness, you moron!" Karen looks smug as she thinks the lady's siding with her. And the nice lady says, "Are you okay? Do I need to call an ambulance or the police?" Karen now looks confused. I said, "I just want to get home." I'm now close to having a panic attack. Unsurprisingly, my own body failing me countless times has led to some pretty bad anxiety, and I wanted to get back to my support dog who was at home. The bus driver is now looking up, wondering what the raised voices are about. And Karen says, "She's lying. She's not disabled. She's too young to be disabled. She can't be disabled." Karen now looks slightly panicked as she realizes that the entire bus is tutting her. I said aloud that my stop is coming up. It really wasn't, but I was too anxious to stay in that environment. And the nice lady says, "Okay, sweetie, we'll get you to your stop." The nice lady then glares at Karen and points to a chair and says, "You practically attacked her. You're lucky that she doesn't want to sue you for harassment or something. I wish I could sue you for sheer ignorance." Karen starts to open her mouth, but at this point, the bus driver is about to get out of his chair to sort the situation out, and Karen's skinny little bottom meets a chair before you can say entitled people. The nice lady then persuades me to stay until my actual stop and chats to me on my way home. Silly Karens. I still can't believe that she said young people can't be disabled. Oh my goodness. Oh. This last story is titled, Karen wears her husband's rank. This didn't happen to me, but I witnessed it. So here's some background. I live in San Diego. We have a pretty big naval base. I hope you know where this goes. I was at the store when this lady was shouting at the cashier. She was berating him, calling him all sorts of slurs. This dude looked like he was my age, 21. He looked nervous and with bad social skills. He tried to talk, but she kept yelling at him. She said, "What do you mean I can't use the military discount?" "I'm sorry, ma'am, but..." And then she said, "Do you know who my husband is? He's a high rank in the military." I hear the cashier say, "I understand, but you yourself aren't military." I'm not sure how military discounts work or how this particular store does it, but boy, this lady needs to take a chill pill. As the lady was yelling at him, she messed up and said some very obscene words to him. She said, "You stupid kid, learn how to do your job. All you millennial are lazy and can't get a real job. People like you don't deserve to live and should rot, you stupid." Okay, I gotta stop there. According to OP, she calls him a racial slur. At this point, I was about to step in, but the man in front of me spoke up. I didn't realize it, but this dude was in his naval uniform. With a deep commanding voice, he silences Karen and says, "Ma'am, you need to stop right there. What you're doing is inhumane and entitled. I'm not serving our country for people like you to berate others. You can't wear your husband's rank. He's serving the country, not you. You don't get to use a discount for something that you didn't earn." Karen says, "Who are you? My husband is certainly a high rank, and you can't talk to me like that." And he says, "I don't care what your husband is. I'm a rank higher than your husband, and I'll see that your husband gets a warning for this behavior. If you want him to keep his job, you need to stop wearing his rank. Do you understand me?" The Karen nods her head with a look of "I totally just fucked up." He continues saying, "Now apologize to this young man. He's free to be who he is, and you will give me the name of your husband." Karen apologized to the cashier, gave him her husband's name and other information, and walked away with her head hanging in shame. The cashier thanked him and gave him the military discount, plus another discount for helping him. The lesson of the day is, don't wear your spouse's rank and expect the same treatment. Your spouse is the one serving the country, not you. And I hope you guys enjoyed the stories in this episode. If you aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for future videos. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought of these stories, and I'll see you guys in the next one.